Don't do it. Despite what the modern log home industry would have you believe, old log cabins do pretty good on their own without all the modern snake oil. There's a log right here. This is 150 years old. It's never had any kind of finish applied to it. And it's doing just fine. It still doesn't need any kind of additive or coating or oil put on it for it to last many, many years into the future. But modern log home industry would have you believe that you need to do that. Don't do it. The only place where logs fail is where they can't dry out, typically around the bottom of cabins. So, another don't plant shrubs up against your cabin. It rains, they get wet, the wind shakes them, takes them a couple days to dry out, and they're still shedding moisture on your logs, which is what causes log damage. Another thing don't do your joints with modern acrylic joint compounds on your historical building. They're made to simulate the look of the original chinking, but there's lots of problems with them. And I can speak from experience. I used them many years ago when they were first on the market. In bright sunshine, the stuff would just go away. Foam filler, backer rods, all of this stuff, sticky, nasty, expensive stuff you put in your cabin. I'm about to go on a restoration in central Oklahoma where that was put on a historic display cabin, and it will cost me hours and hours and lots of dollars of labor to get that crap off of the building. So when I reset the logs, it can be properly chinked. Now, if you got a fully modern log house, knock yourself out. But if you're dealing with a historical building and you want to keep it in some way like it was, don't do that. So another don't do is try to. If any way you can prevent it from having your local building official get involved with your restoration work. They do not understand these buildings. All they know is what it says in their code book. And if they start applying their codes to your project, you will absolutely be destroying original historical fabric of your building. They just don't understand them. Architects, engineers, they come in there with their school degrees and try to tell you how to take care of something that's been doing pretty perfectly well for the last 150 years or longer. They haven't had their hands on them. They don't understand them. So avoid that any way you possibly can. Now I want to talk about wood shingles. Unfortunately, I'm not in the middle of a shingle job right now where I can go through the details of putting wood shingles on. I advocate for the use of wood shingles on your log cabin anytime you can do it. I understand there are jurisdictions that won't allow them anymore. In a museum setting, use them. Now, you'll go into your code book if they're going to make you do them by code, and they'll tell you that wood shingles require an underlayment over a solid sheathing. Go look it up and read it. Absolutely a misunderstanding of how wood shingles work. Wood shingles saturate when they get wet. Say a 3-day rain, they get wet all the way through. They're meant to be set down on a skipped sheathing that allows airflow underneath the shingle. Without that airflow, put down on tar paper or a solid sheathing like the code book says, and your shingles will rot from the bottom up because they can never dry out. I've had fights over the years with lots of building departments that tried to get me to do it by code, and I had to get variances. I had to go in and sit down with them and explain their code book does not understand wood shingles. And a good application of wood shingles, particularly in the West, you might get 50 to 70 years out of properly applied wood shingles, if they don't get hailed. They just last and last. Still one of the most durable roofs you can put on a building. And then when the shingles are applied, they need to be applied correctly. 2 nails each. No more than 2 nails on each shingle when you put it down. I've gone in and stripped shingles off of buildings that were put down, where the wood shingles were put down with staples. Because it's fast. It doesn't work. Staples pin them down so hard they can't move. They can't swell and shrink with the seasons or the moisture and the sunlight drying them out, and it destroys them. So these are some things don't do with your historic log cabin. I hope you find this information helpful. I'm William Bailey with Bill's Historical West. And if you have questions about log cabins, please subscribe and I'll answer your questions in the comments. Have a nice day.